All right. I believe we're live. Hello, everyone. Very excited to be back. Missed you last week and want to spend a little bit of time explaining what was going on there and what's going on now, because a lot of people have been reaching out and asking. So I want to make everyone aware because we got a lot of people that are concerned. Audio, video, good. Thank you, Finsanity. You beat Zen Ginger, which I haven't seen her name pop up yet. So maybe she's not with us tonight. That's okay. She can have the night off. It's fine. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about spending $1,000 on an aquarium. I'm not going to actually spend $1,000 on an aquarium. There's Zen Ginger. And if you believe, or if you think that my title was clickbait, I didn't mean it to be that way. I didn't intend on it to be that way. What I'm saying is, what we're going to do is we're going to talk as if we have a budget for $1,000. What would we do with that $1,000 to get the best setup possible? If you enjoy this, if this is something that we have a lot of fun with, then we can do it again in a future episode where we can spend more. Maybe we spend $2,500. Maybe we move it up to 10. Maybe we go all the way up to Elon Musk level. Who knows? I think it's something that could be a lot of fun because particularly with $1,000, you got to be very strategic in how you do things because that money will go quick in this hobby. Very quick. But before we get into that, before we have all kinds of fun with that, let me update you as to what's going on here. You may not be aware, you may be aware of why I missed last week's live stream, but I'm going to tell you why. Lisa had surgery last Thursday. I've been talking about that the last few weeks. There was one particular jerk, I don't remember his name, that commented about that, not about her surgery, but about like, it's weird how you made that video talking about how you're going to do what you want to do. And then Lisa hasn't been in any of your videos since. Or hasn't been on the live streams yet. It's like, yes, she has, but also she has a pretty daggone good excuse. And I thought about bringing her tag from the hospital, the wrist tag that's still sitting in my bathroom. I thought about bringing that and showing that just for that jerk. But anyway, we never really talked about what it was that was going on. And I want to bring you all up to speed on it so that you're not worried, because there's been a lot of people that have reached out with concern and, how's Lisa doing? Several months ago, she started having some abdominal pain, and it was not anything normal. Like, she knew this is not right. Like, something is wrong. I kept telling her to go to the doctor. She refused. She's hard-headed like me. I wouldn't have either. But finally, she did go to the doctor, and the doctor did all of the tests and found some things in her abdominal area that he did not like. And so the surgery on Thursday was to remove those things. I'm not going to get into exactly what it was because, come on, we can't go too far with it. But we got in there last Thursday at 9 a.m. because we're never late if I'm in charge of getting us wherever we need to go. If she's in charge, you might as well consider it at least 30 minutes late. But we got there right at 9 a.m. because that's when we were told to be there. She didn't go back to surgery until like almost 2 o'clock. Now, maybe it was like 1. I don't know. The whole day was a blur and very boring, may I add, for me. But, of course I was going to be there. I wouldn't have not been there. And the staff at the hospital was absolutely incredible. They kept me entertained and all of that kind of stuff. It was, as enjoyable for me as an experience like that could possibly be. Your wife's getting surgery. How much joy can you find in that? But, the staff there was really good at making it as easy on me as they possibly could. But who cares about me? It's not about me. She came out of surgery. She was hilarious. The first thing she said to me after surgery was, I woke up. I was like, thank you for that. And then she was just being silly while she was on the medications and stuff like that. And then she, slowly came back to normal. And I think she needed, it was 2.5 or so hours before they were comfortable releasing her. And they did. We came home. We put her in the bed. And that's where she stayed for a while. And so by the time all of that was said and done, there was no way I was going to stream. And I think you all can understand that. She wanted me to. She was like, you need to get out there and do that. But I couldn't do it. I was worn out. The emotional stress of, my wife is back there right now being cut open. I don't like that. I have no control over that. I don't like not having control over that. So, even though I was just the one that was just there, it was still very stressful for me, as you can probably imagine. Now, because there's going to be people that have probably already asked in the chat, or they're wondering this, everything that they took out that they tested is clear. She does not have the big C word or anything like that. And as according to the doctor and the follow-up and all that, she's all good now. Like we're good to go. So, time to panic is over, which is awesome. The doctor never said, to my knowledge, I wasn't at the doctor's appointments with her, but she never said anything to me about the doctor saying anything about cancer or anything like that. He said, of course, we're going to test for that, but he didn't say anything about that. But if you've ever had a loved one get operated on and they have to take things out, it's like, man, I hope that C word doesn't come up. And so it was a huge relief when he called and told her, nope, everything checked out good. We are good to go. So she is still on the mend. She's doing very, very well. She's back to work, moving a little slower, but she's doing exactly how you would expect somebody to be after a surgery like that. Still not, ready to come in here and stream. In fact, I don't know what she was doing. She was outside when I walked out here, and I was like, wait a minute, you're not streaming with me, are you? And she was like, no, but she's up and around. She's doing really, really well. She's just not up to, putting a happy face on and streaming with me here tonight. I think there's a real good chance that she'll be back next week. That'll be amazing, but we'll have to see. But I can tell you, she is a tough chick, and this whole thing has not been easy on her, but she's handled it about as good as somebody can handle a situation like that. So real proud of her for that. And, there you go. That's what's going on with her. Everything's good now. Should have no more issues at all. So very thankful for that. Now, speaking of issues and speaking of things happening, you might be looking behind me right now and you might be thinking something ain't right. And you'd be right. First of all, the water level is low. Don't pick on me for that. It's been a rough week. I don't even know why that's happening. You can't really tell right now because of the light, the way it's hitting it. But this line, the one that's been haunting me for years, it goes all the way across now. It's just that I need to adjust the water level with the return or the overflows. It's not a big deal. I need to get in there and do some maintenance on that tank. I need to do maintenance on all of my tanks, as a matter of fact, but that's not what I'm talking about. You might look in there and see something is missing, Uyo. I still haven't figured out how to say that. Is saying it's tilted. No, that's not the camera. That's not the tank. That's the camera. Again, been a rough week. I did not get a chance to make sure everything was perfectly straight. We're going to be doing a lot of screen sharing today. So my picture of me is going to be really small. So you're not even going to be able to tell that the camera's a little bit crooked, but no, we're missing an Oscar in there. Unfortunately, even though we had, check my floor level just to be sure. You rascal, you, Cat got it. Yeah, there is one less Oscar. Of course it happened to me. We lost an Oscar yesterday. And I am certainly not happy about it. Of course not. I've been doing this for long enough to where losing a fish doesn't have the same impact on me that it would have way back in the day. But of course, it still sucks, particularly when it's one of my favorite fish. It is the red Oscar. So you can see the two OGs, the tiger albino and the regular tiger. They're still great, still fine. The red was, at least it wasn't the pretty albino. I mean, that is true, but also, like, it sucks either way. But I know what you mean. Whoever it was that said that, Alan. So it was weird. That fish, I'm going to turn my volume down because I keep seeing red, like the Chevelle song. That fish, like, lost its color really fast. Like, out of nowhere, the color started to dim out on that fish and started looking weird. Lisa was well enough she handles all of our sick fish. If there's a, fish that's not doing well, or a fish that got beat up, or a fish that's sick or whatever, she is always the one that handles it. I don't force her to. That's her thing. She's a nurturer by nature. And so she immediately went into action. And the interesting thing, she didn't even tell me. She just immediately removed that fish, put it in a little hospital tank, and started to remedy or attempt to remedy that fish. But it was already too late. It happened really fast. And the belief is, of course, we'll never know unless we were to do an autopsy, which we will not do. Who does that? Anyway, she believes, and I think it makes complete sense, that the fish accidentally swallowed gravel. The gravel, you can see it in here. I don't even know if you'd want to call what we have in here gravel. It's a fine gravel, maybe would be the right way to say it. But there are some larger pieces in there. The fish bloated up really fast, and then the color dimmed, and then boom, gone. It was really sudden. So it makes sense. It makes total sense that might have been the thing that happened. But we'll never know. And that's, losing fish back in the day, to me, used to be the worst. And I'm sure it's the worst for everybody. But usually the reason why it would drive me crazy is because I wouldn't know why. It's like, something hits and boom, the fish is gone. It's one thing if you have an issue that goes on and on and on and on, and then you give it medication and it, recovers and everything, or it doesn't, but it's something that happens over the long period of time. When it's something super sudden, that used to frustrate me. Like, what did I do? What could I have done? How could I have prevented this? And I've just completely given up on that. I don't fool with that anymore, because it's like, I'm going to drive myself crazy. I'm going to sit here and dwell on this. And there's most likely, with something like what happened with this Oscar, it happened so fast, it was already too late. The second we saw that there was a problem there was already nothing that you could do. So I don't let myself fall to pieces over it. Does it still sucks? Of course. I hate it. And I hate not knowing what to do now. What I mean by that is, you can call me shallow. You can call me heartless. You can call me whatever you want to call me. Believe me, I promise you somebody has called me that already. But I tend to deal with these kind of things by very quickly replacing that thing which was lost. I've just always been that way. When my golden retriever passed away back in 2017, I think it was, absolutely devastating. Had that dog for 10 years, went through a separation and divorce and custody battle and moving several times, and then meeting Lisa and her becoming Lisa's favorite dog, and then having a whole new family. Went through a lot with that dog. When she passed, it was the worst. It was the most horrible thing ever. I bought my Chihuahuas like 4 weeks later. I think Lisa made me wait that long. Is she in there? There she is. Thankfully, we're done talking about her when she shows up. But that's how I process grief, is replacement. And I don't know what to do with this tank. The three bikers are great, as lazy as ever. Look at that ornate. He's just staring at y'all like, I'm watching y'all, and y'all better behave yourself. John's by himself again tonight. Rebound fish, exactly. I don't know what to do, though. That's the problem. Those two Oscars right there, I don't know how they're going to be. They've never said a word to those bikers. Now watch them go and push one of the bikers around or something like that. I don't know. I mean, they may nudge the bikers or, swim by or something. I've never seen them show any kind of aggression whatsoever. When we had the Severums, I think there was some aggression. As a matter of fact, I think the Oscars might, or the red Oscar, the one that we just lost, I think might have been the culprit, with one of them getting beat down to the point where it passed. Anyway, I don't know how these two Oscars will react to new tank mates being put in there. It's the scary thing when you have fish that are full grown. Those fish are 6 years old and they are set in their ways. Ever since I bought them when they were this big, they've never been anything but this tank. They're spoiled rotten. They might not allow newcomers to come into the tank. Lisa made the suggestion last night. She said, I know what I'll do. I will go. She has 125 that she's working on. She hasn't worked on it in the last couple of weeks, as you can imagine, but she said, I'll get 4 Oscars, babies. I'll grow them up in that 125 and then we can put them in there. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. But no, I don't want to do that. And the main reason why I don't want to do that is because if you do that, that'll be fun, because who doesn't love another tank full of Oscars? But what if it doesn't go well when we put them into here? I would feel the worst about that. You get them, we would probably try to find them at, I don't know, 3-4 inches, not starting off with them being the $8 size, but get them a decent size. I think that red, that when we got him, I think he was like 6 inches long. He was the same size as the other two when we got them, and they were already, I think I had already had them for a little over a year. So, we would want to get them probably 3 or 4 inches or so, as big as we can find them, let them grow up and then put them in there. But then what if all hell breaks loose? What if we have, the ultimate putting 4 in there? Oh my goodness, we're going to have 6 Oscars in there. That's going to be amazing. And then it just becomes absolute Armageddon and becomes a huge war. What could be even worse? How bad would Lisa feel if she raises these fish up for a year and then we put them in there and they attack my 2 Oscars that I already have? You just don't know. And that's that bad thing. It's like, man, I don't know. I'm certainly not going to go and buy little 2-inch Oscars and put them in there. I don't think that they would eat a fish that size because they're too lazy. Look at them. I mean, they just kind of sit there. I'd probably be more worried about the ornate biker doing something to him. He can fit a 2-inch fish in his mouth real easy. I don't know. I'm kind of at that place where I don't know what to do. We'll have to see. I mean, it'll be fun. And I'm probably going to get calls or texts tonight. I know a guy who has this, who has that. I just don't know. Arowanas, it'd be a great idea. Tried that. And I'm not opposed to trying it again. I would love to find me like a 18-inch silver arowana. Sometimes you run into those at a pet store that somebody surrenders or whatever. I think that'd be fun. I just don't know. It's fun to try to figure out. But I'm not going to make any decisions right now. I mean, that Oscar died yesterday. So I don't have to figure it out right now, but I'll figure out something soon. And then we'll have all kinds of fun losing sleep over what's going to happen with the newcomers, or are the newcomers going to come in and want to wreck those two Oscars that are already in there? I'm the biggest Oscar fan in the world. Everybody knows that. I don't know for a fact that I will want to get more Oscars to put in there. I feel like I might try something, I don't know, something different. I am a tremendous fan of Green Terrors. I don't know if that would work out. You almost never see them bigger than this at the fish store. Jack Dempsey's are great. They're boring. Somebody just mentioned something. Stingrays, that would be great, but I don't know that I want them in with the bikers. Clown knives, I love me some clown knives. I love them. They're the coolest, but they're also boring. I understand you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, John, this Lepredii biker right here has not moved. The ornate's going to cover him up now. The ornate's always all over the place, but the Lepredii is definitely the laziest of the three. You're like, how could you say that a clown knife is lazy? They just are. If you've ever had one, they're the most amazing looking fish in the world, but they just kind of sit there. I love them. They're one of my favorite fish. Really, they are. And listen, here's the biggest problem. I had the saddest thing ever happen with a clown knife, and I haven't had another one since. And it was the clown knife that was like 14 inches long, tried to launch himself out of the tank, not realizing there was a 1/4-inch glass lid on there, and he basically broke his back. And he was in there. He looked like a horseshoe, and it was really, really sad. And we had to, we had to do what we had to do with that guy. And that was devastating. I hated that. So I haven't had another one there. Deserves a pair of umbies. That would be great. Fire eels. Yeah, definitely not going to do that, but those are very, very cool. Pantano cichlids. That's a new one to me. The nerdy fish. Well, that explains it. You're one of those nerds that knows fish that I don't know. Salvini, that's a great choice. Frontosa, no, not with them. Jaguars, no. I love jaguars. Love them, love them, love them. Not in there, though. Waru, I'm not going to do that because Joey would be like, you did that because of me. I'm not going to give Joey that pleasure. Giant gouramis, no. Again, cool, but no. True Parrot, Cichlid Charmer has me sold on those. Those are very good, but I love the fact that y'all are giving me suggestions here. It's fun. Another biker, you can never go wrong there. And I would have a hard time turning one down. Flagtail, don't know that one. Sure, it's cool, though. Ghost Knife, love those. Again, pretty boring, though. They just kind of sit there like these fish are doing right now. But snakeheads, now, come on now, you rascal. Pacus, absolutely not. Aprowana. What are we talking about there? Aprowana? Would that be a cross between an arapaima and an arowana? Are we talking about a species I've never heard of before? Arowana, you spell checked yourself. Yeah, that's not a terrible idea. I really do like that. A few people have suggested that. I might give that a try. Again, when I got this tank in 2019, that's what I got it for. Arowanas and those Oscars. And it didn't work out too well for the arowanas. And I haven't had one since. Wolffish, no way. Great fish. I mean, I haven't seen a fish that y'all have suggested that I don't like. But don't like them for this tank. Like the Dovi is amazing, but they always end up being in a tank by themselves, and there's a very specific reason why that's the case. Texas cichlid, love it. I feel like a Texas I'd run into the same thing that I would run into if I was to try like the Green Terrors or Midas, things like that. It's like, could go fine, but also maybe couldn't. That's a little bit scary. Black Ghost Knife are one of the coolest fish in the hobby. They definitely are. I love them. They're so cool, especially if you've seen one full grown. They are magnificent because when they're small, which is how big you always see them at the pet store, 5 inches, 6 inches. Wait, that's 9 inches, right? You can't see their face. They just look like a feather. But when they get big and you can actually see the fish's face, they're magnificent. But again, I don't know. In that tank, I just don't know. My 6-year-old says 1 single beta. That is so sweet. Lisa got a beta today. She got 2, by the way. But yeah, Sturm, tell your 6-year-old that's a very sweet idea, but that's she would not like the results that would come from that. Red tail, no, been there, done that. Love them, but no, not in an 8-foot tank. Definitely try a Green Terror. See, we're thinking alike, Whiffs World. Listen, y'all, Badlands Aquatics, y'all got to understand, not just you, Badlands, but everybody. I'm a big dummy. I don't understand that word that you just said there. You got to tell me the common name, because if you tell me the scientific name, I'm not going to know what you're talking about. Sturgeon, ha! Electric catfish, no, definitely not going to do that. Spotted Congo puffer, cool idea. She's very happy you commented. Well, tell her she's a sweetheart, and I appreciate the suggestion, but we have a lot of betas. We call them betas. She might be smarter than me, and she calls them betas. If so, good for her. We have a lot of betas, but I don't want to put one in there because it would not be fun. Peacock bass is a really good suggestion. But I just don't know. The cool thing about it is all of these are good suggestions. And I could theoretically do any of them. I mean, I'm not really interested in one of the electric eels or anything like that. But a lot of these are, she speaks French. Well, daggone it. She probably didn't understand a word I said. That's a shame. But at least let her know I'm saying hi. They're all good suggestions that y'all are bringing up, but I just don't know. Anyway, I sound like Tony. Y'all know Tony? Anyway, one of my favorite content creators on the planet right now. That guy's hilarious. If y'all don't know who I'm talking about, just type in Tony intro. That's all you need. He's awesome. Don't do anything and use the money to save the money and spoil Lisa. Dude, that woman's already so spoiled. Give me a break. Come on. You know? Come on. It's not spoiled because she has me, but she gets whatever she wants. So, my brother had a needle nose gar. I do like the idea of gar, particularly like not the alligator gars. They get 4 feet. Give me a break. But something like a Florida gar, which I had one back in the day, and it hung out on the top. And then you got the Oscars wherever they want to be, and then you have the bikers on the bottom. That would be fun. Arowana would be the same way. Red Dragon Arowana, boy, would I love to do that. And who was it back on April Fool's Day that tricked me into thinking that we were going to be able to get them in October? What a jerk. that put that up on April Fool's Day. But I would love to do that. But I live in the stupid United States, and we can't get them here because we're stupid. We can get Bengal tigers. We can get 12-foot-long boa constrictors. But we can't get Asian arowanas because it's dumb. Well, the fish isn't dumb. Our government is dumb. Whip, we met him. He's awesome. Who did we meet? You know who's funny? Brad Williams. I love Brad Williams. Yeah, we did meet him. I could probably dig up the picture I have with him. Lisa probably wouldn't like it though, because it was a long time ago for her, and she looks very different now than she did then. Yeah, we were very fortunate to sit front row. It was at like a little comedy club, not a big arena or something like that. A little comedy club. We saw Brad Williams in, and then he did a meet and greet afterwards, and we did just that. We got to meet and greet him, and he was awesome. And I'm digging through the photos. It's going to take forever. You don't realize how many photos you have until you need to find that one. And it's not like I can type in Brad Williams and it'll pop up, but it is kind of hilarious to see the picture of Lisa and I next to him. And, you know, he's a lot shorter than we are because he's a dwarf. So of course he is. But I am such a huge fan of him. And let me tell you something. His special on, I think it's on Amazon, that's called Fun Size, is a masterpiece. Absolutely a masterpiece. And that might be what you saw, Whip. Look at that. There you go. And Lisa has cropped herself out of it. There's me and Brad Williams. Ain't that something? I'm just going to leave that up there for a little bit. I tell you what, if I showed you the picture with Lisa in it, you'd be like, Lisa, you look great. She always looks good, but she looks, you don't look bad in the picture, Lisa, but you know what I'm saying. I think you look bad now. She looks very different now in a very good way. Look at me. I've got the dumb, 1980s goatee going on there. So it's not like I look good there. I'm probably 20 pounds lighter than I am now, but I'm also, it's the reverse with you. You're like 40 pounds lighter now than you were in that picture. But anyway, love Brad Williams. Let's talk about spending $1,000 on an aquarium. Immediate change the subject. Because I don't want to be in trouble. You look like a cross between Stone Cold and Goldberg. Let me tell you something. Not many compliments could be better than that. Seriously. I mean, seriously? I know you're just being nice, but we got our red dragons through Canada. Border Patrol had no idea what they were looking at. You know what? That wouldn't happen with me. I don't have that kind of luck. They would be like, what you doing with that, eh? And I'd be like, nothing. It's, it's a chili raspbora. I don't know. It would never work for me. It was 20. It looks like it was more than that. I was just looking at the picture. I think you're smaller. You're a lot less than 20 pounds. Listen, let's stop talking about that, okay? Lisa has worked very hard over the several years. It's been, when did we see him, Lisa? I don't even remember when it was. It was a pretty daggone long time ago. I don't know if I can get the info on this. Well, this says March 2nd of 2022, but that's not true. That's when the picture was posted on Facebook. I feel like it was way before that. that we saw him. I don't know. I don't know when that was, but great show. Anyway, listen. $1K have an aquarium already or have to buy? No. So this is what it is. This is what I want to do. I think this will be fun. I want to say, all right, we have $1,000 in our pocket. And we're going to buy an aquarium. We're not beginners. We've been doing this a while. It's all of us. We're sitting here having a conversation. We're experienced. We know what we're doing. This is not our first tank. We have $1,000 and we want to buy an aquarium. What would we do? What would you do with $1,000? Now, I got to be honest. For me, being where I'm at, 3 240s and a 360 and a 300 sitting over there. That's Lisa's, but you know, it's like what's hers is mine. What's mine is hers, you know. 2 125s, 275s, a 90. You get it. A 55 right there that y'all haven't even seen. You will soon. I just bought that a couple of weeks ago for a very specific purpose. And I'm going to tell you, because not as many people watch the live stream as they do videos. Our flavescent peacocks have finally started producing, and Lisa has started keeping the fry, and we got a 55-gallon specifically for grow out of those fry, and Lisa did a beautiful job putting some dragonstone in there and some valsinaria in there, and it's got probably 40 babies in there right now, and they're adorable. So I'm very familiar with buying aquariums and how much they cost. I went and bought that at Petco. I paid whatever the price was at the time. It wasn't a 50% off sale, was it, Lisa? I don't remember. But you know, I went to the store and bought it. I didn't like contact somebody and say, "Can you send me one for free?" And I just went and bought it. It's not like I am loaded and I could just go buy a 55-gallon tank whenever I want. But, you know, it's a business expense. So there it is. Somebody asked if I could show it. None of the lights are on and the water's a little bit low. And yes, it has a bag of Northfin Fry Starter on it, or in front of it. There's no light on it yet, because why does there need to be yet? But I don't think you can really see any of the fry in there, but trust me, they're in there. They're kind of wandering around the Dragonstone, and they're adorable, and I love them. You know, that's kind of how we got our start on YouTube, is breeding African cichlids. So it's very cool that that we have that going on now. And Lisa's doing a great job with it. But let's talk about what we would do with that $1,000. And I think there's a lot of ways you can go with this. And I think the most important decision should be, what is the tank for? Because that's going to have so much to do with what we end up getting. What I mean is this. If I'm looking to set up something for some fry, I have an active breeding tank with peacocks in it that we all know can breed like crazy. Did you tell them what filter I'm using? Oh, no, because I wanted to save some of it for your videos, Lisa Marie. But it's an AquaClear 110. That's what's in there. Because of course it's that. I mean, here's what I said. I said, why wouldn't you do a tidal? And she said, because the AquaClear has the intake sponge. It's a fry tank, dummy. And I said, good point. Good point. But what is this tank for that we're spending $1,000 on? Is it a fry tank? If it's a fry tank, There's a lot of things that we can do differently than if we wanted a heavily planted tank. And let me tell you what I'm going to end up doing in this here live stream. We're actually going to shop for these things that we're going to use in this aquarium that we're going to buy with $1,000. We're going to go to websites. We're going to explore. We're going to shop for each individual part. We're going to try to get the best deal, see who has the deals, none of which, of course, will be Amazon. I would not dare do that. If you're going to do that, do it. I don't care. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to explore websites that are not Amazon. Maybe they will include things like PetSmart and Petco because, I mean, most pet stores nowadays don't sell tanks. So to get the tank part, we're going to probably have to do that. But other parts we can get elsewhere, including kitfishkeeping.com. We'll check out that website too. Why wouldn't we? Because with $1,000 budget, we're not going to be talking about a big giant tank. We're not getting a 240. We're not getting a 125 even. But there is the option. See, we're having a discussion here, and I need y'all to participate in the chat because if we wanted to go, oh, Jerry, I did tell her that, by the way, but she didn't care. She already made her mind up. I told her that the intake sponges from the fluvels fit on the titles, and I'm pretty sure you're the one that established that for me, and she didn't care. She was like, no, I already made up my mind. I'm using an aqua clear, so that's what I'm using. Welcome to the world of being married to Lisa Marie Hudson, Jerry. When she makes up her mind, good luck. But see, the nerdy fish, he might have used all those scientific names before. Wasn't that you? Brings up a really good point. If we wanted to go with something like a 125, which I think is the best tank ever, we can go used. It's not outrageous. We could try that. Or we could set a rule that it has to be brand new. Everything has to be new. What are we going to do? You could do the 125 but save up for everything that goes with it. Now, see, that's not very fun, Kaylin. Yeah, just get this and then save up. No. I'm talking about we got $1,000 right now. Somebody has a gun to your head and says you have to spend every dollar of that money right now. What are we going to do? Not this, I got to wait till I get my allowance and all of that. You're a grown man, Kaylin. I know you're not waiting for allowance, but you know what I'm saying. No, we're not going to save up our money. We're not going to. We just got our tax refund and it's $1,000, or $1,000 is how much of the tax return that our better half has allowed us to allocate towards an aquarium. So we got to do it. We got to do it all right now. What if we go over? We can't. That's the point. We got to stay at 1,000. But again, if this is fun, if you like this and you want to see what would I do if I had $5,000, if I had $10,000, we can do this again. But today it's $1,000. Petco has their 125s 50% off. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's do this. Let's go with the screen share. I already had PetSmart pulled up, but I'll go to Petco. Who knows if it'll show that. Can you see everything? Can you see the whole site? Yes. Okay, let's go. $125 gallon aquarium. Would you looky there? Would you just look at it? Just look at it. All right. So whoever said that in the chat was right. $499. Buy online, pick up in the store. But here's the thing. I want to give credit to who said that. Alan Brunner. But here's the thing. It's true. It's right there. 125 gallon for $500. Let me tell you all something. That's a daggone good deal. That's a real daggone good deal, because usually $1,000. It's a good deal for a 125, brand new. But what you're not thinking of here, let's do this. Let's put this in our cart. We're going to pick it up in an hour. And that's good. It says Fayetteville. That's not the closest one to me, but all right. Wow, I even got $20 off. Well, Petco is killing it. All right. So let's go. Let's not sneeze live in front of 43,000 people. 125 gallon aquarium lids. Let's see if that's even on there. Because the thing is, all right, what are the measurements for a 125? It's 72, so are they 36 inch? Roughly 36 inch lids. We don't want those black ones with the LEDs built in. Those are poop. We know that. Here we go. All right, 36 by 18. So we need 2 of those. We're going to go, and those are $35 a piece. So see, we're getting a deal here. This is going pretty well. I'm pretty excited about this. Because, I mean, we're killing this thing. But here's where we're going to get hurt. It all escalates. It all snowballs from here. 125 gallon aquarium. Oops. Oh my goodness. ARIUM stand. Hey, how did I spell that? What did I do? Here's a cheap one. That's for a 55. We can't use that. North American Pet Products, 125. $4.99. You see that? Oh, Jesus. We can't do that because we've already blown through our budget. And see, I think this is where we get hit. And don't be mad at me for saying, oh, Jesus, that's a Bill Burr thing. Come on. I'm a stand-up comedy fan. That's what Bill Burr says, and it's funny. So leave me alone. So what we're going to okay, see, this is where things get really complicated. You want to know why? Because, oh, shoot, I'm on the wrong thing here. I'm talking about putting together an aquarium to put in our living room. And so you might automatically think, well, 125 gallon, we have $1,000 to spend. We're already at, what are we at? Because we're getting the lids and we're getting the tank 50% off. We're already at $550. We still need to get a stand, a filter or multiple filters, heater, lights, decor, fish. We need to get everything. I mean, maybe we don't have to get plants and fish and, maybe we could leave that out. We're just setting up the aquarium, but we got a long way to go before we have this thing set up. There's no room to buy a store-bought stand. So the natural thing is, well, let's DIY a stand. It's a great idea. Believe me, I have built my share. There's a couple right there. I built that one. I did a video about that. You can't see it because the pillar's in the way, but I built a double stack 125. There you go. It's right there. Done it many times, and it's cheap, but it's also butt ugly. A 2x4 DIY stand is butt ugly. I don't care who you are. So you're going to end up wanting to trim it out. Jason and I just did a podcast episode all about this. And if I'm being honest with you, I am a little bit biased, but it was one of my favorite episodes that Jason and I have ever done. Probably because it was talking about woodworking the whole time. And that's my other favorite thing other than fish keeping and Lisa and the kids and all of those other crazy things. But I loved that episode so much. And we talked about that. If you're going to do a DIY stand out of 2x4s, do you really want that to be in your living room? Not many people that I know do. So yeah, you could probably build a stand out of 2x4s for $100. Yes, I said $100 because you got to factor in there screws and glue and a piece of plywood for the top. If you're going to do this right, you don't have to put the piece of plywood on the top, but it's ideal. It'd be great if you could. So you're, nobody's going to like that in their living room. I certainly wouldn't. So I think a 125 is out of the question. However, all right, let me try this a little bit differently because listen, folks, I've had people pull up in front of my house and stuff and it gets weird. I don't want, if I go on Facebook Marketplace, I don't want it to say where I live. I don't think it does, but I just want to be sure. It's not like it's, oh, come on. I can't sign into Facebook. I hate Facebook so much. It's the worst. So now I'm going to do this and then it's going to say, we just sent you a text or it's the wrong login again. Oh, for crying out loud. All right. Facebook Marketplace is out of the question. Can't do it. Unless you can do it for me. I don't know what my password is for this stupid thing. Let me see. Maybe I can get in under this one, under the business. Nope. So dumb. This is so stupid. Yeah, okay. I guess I got the right one. Check your notifications on your other device. iPhone 14 Pro Max. Here we go. And that means I have to open up Facebook. This is so dumb. Listen, I understand the security and all that kind of stuff, but come on. Must we? Yes, it's me. Finish. Oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Finally, something actually cool happened on Facebook. Can I show y'all something? Did y'all watch my video on the Money Pit channel where I was building cabinets? I only have like 4 videos on the channel, so it's not hard to find. Money Pit. Trust this device. I did a video on the Money Pit channel, and I talked about a buddy of mine that was a good friend of mine back in the day. Oh, crap. It does say, it says my town. I don't like that at all. So I was, I'm just going to type in Aquarium. I talked about a buddy of mine that gave me some tips on building aquariums. Not building aquariums, building cabinets. I referred to my buddy as Kenny. And when I was talking about him, I put up the little Kenny from South Park and it was fun. And I talked about Kenny several times in that video. I go on here on Facebook to verify my account. And there he is. That's Kenny. And it won't focus. That's the Kenny that I was talking about in that video. There he is. Kenny Randall. How cool is that? What are the odds that that happens? It's like Big Brother's watching. I tell you, it's pretty scary. So I'm going to look at these and I'm going to make sure that y'all can't see where I live before I show you. But I am on Facebook Marketplace as we speak. I'm looking around. Okay, that's not real. 55 gallon for $100. It's got water in it that's about as low as the water in that fry tank over there. It doesn't look nearly as good. $300 for. All right, hold on. Let's check this one out here. I can share my screen on here. This is missing a door. It's got some water damage to the stand. Severe water damage to the sand. But it comes with a FX6, y'all. And that's in Fayetteville, $300. It doesn't say if it comes with everything. But let me tell you something. I see a light. Okay, let's skim through these. Okay, it's just the two pictures. I see a light. And I'm not going to lie, the light kind of looks like a 3.0. I don't know. But it kind of looks like a 3.0. But let's forget about that light for a second. Let's forget about the shoes that are sitting there looking so terrible. For the tank and the filter alone, that is a hell of a deal. Forget about the ugly background that's on it. You know, who cares about that? That's $5. You can correct that issue. I wouldn't even care about that stand. I wouldn't even care about what kind of light is on there. For a 125 gallon tank for $300 with an FX6. All right. That's a deal right there. Even though it is really ugly and it probably smells bad and it's, you know, might not be the most pleasant house to go into. Okay. Oh, hold on a second now. Hold on a second. We're on to something here. Oh my goodness. Look at what we're talking about here now. Complete 125 gallon aquarium and stand. Condition is used. This aquarium comes with an FX4 canister filter, high quality LED, decor, air pump, and air stones. PM me for more information. Folks. That's a hard one to pass up. Let's see if there's more. Okay, there's better pictures. Stand looks like it's in really good shape. All right, it's already empty, so you don't get the Oscars, and that's fine. Oscars look pretty good too. There's a big old, it looks like is that a sailfin pleco and a shark? The air stones are, yeah, I mean, they're fine. You could use them, right? The rainbow gravel, I mean, come on, we're better than that, but still, whew, that's hard to pass up right there, because we just established the lids, $35 a piece. And I don't even know if the lids that I opted for on Petco are the right ones, because we don't know if that tank, let's go back there and see, because, oh, that's not the right one. Let's see. I didn't think about this before. Is it two 36-inch lids, or is it three shorter lids? You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can tell here. Oh, it is three. Wait a minute. This tank, does it come with lids? That's not really going to change everything about it. But yeah, that's the three shorter lids. So see, we would have been making a mistake, and y'all didn't stop me. Y'all didn't stop me from making that mistake. At least I didn't see it if you did. Three 24-inch lids. Yeah. The Petco tank comes with the lids. Yeah, see, I just noticed that. But again, the lids aren't the most outrageous thing. But this deal right here, y'all, I think this is the one you go with and you call it a day. It's in Richmond, Virginia. Go get it. It was $1,000. Now it's $600. I bet you could get it for $5. Dude wants it out of his house. Obviously he does. He's already got it emptied out. Where's that picture? He already got it emptied out. His wife has the pothos vines going across it. I mean, that tank's in a different spot there, though. Y'all notice that? Here it's in front of a staircase. Here it's in a room. Maybe that's the condition that it's in right now. Who cares about all of that? It's a 125-gallon tank with an FX4 and a LED light. He says high quality, but what does that mean? That's the deal right there. That's what we're going to go with because we'd be stupid not to. And here's the thing. He's got 2 heaters sitting on there. I bet you he'll give you those. One of them's a Fluval. I bet you, well, no, it's not 2 heaters. It's 1 heater that fell out of the holder. And that's fine. You can heat a 125 with 1 heater. I bet you he'll give you that. It just says, it comes with the LED light, decor, air pump, and air stones. He's giving you everything with this, okay? So that's the one. That's what we go with. Our job here is over. I mean, am I wrong in saying that? I think that's the way to go. I think that's what we want to get. Why is this not? Oh, because I'm not on the right thing. I keep doing that. It's not the camera. It's the overlay. I would be messaging Jaquan Simmons and I'd be saying, hey, dude, still got it? I want it. Are the Oscars still with it? That's not going to make or break the deal for me because we haven't established what we're starting this for. Could even beat them up on the price and get it for $500. I bet you could. I bet you could absolutely get that for $500 because dude wants it out of his house. It was listed 7 weeks ago. Maybe he lives in a real bad part of town or something and people don't want to go over there. I don't know what the deal is. That being on there for 7 weeks, something ain't right. But that's where I'm going. It looks like a really nice house too, so I don't think it's in a bad spot. Richmond is hit or miss, I'm not going to lie. There's some bad spots in Richmond. There's spots that you can drive through. I used to go to Richmond once a week to work, and it was not uncommon to hear gunfire while I was there. I'm not lying either. Sirens all the time. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right there. I'm going to that guy's house. I can't say for the purposes of this video here, or this live stream here, I can't say we're going to guarantee to get it for $500. So I'm going to go for the full asking price, $600. Because I don't think that's a bad price. It's everything. Here's what's funny. The 125 I showed you earlier, it's the one on the top. I've had that tank since 2010. When Lisa tells the story of her being introduced to fish keeping by me, and she says, I said to her, I'm going to get an aquarium and I'm going to put it in the living room. And she was like, okay, cool. She didn't realize what I was talking about. She thought I was talking about an aquarium. I brought home this big monstrosity. That's the tank. I still have it. It's right there. It's hers now. I mean, what's hers is mine, but it's full of Vallisneria, pennywort, crypts, and big angelfish. It's magnificent. I love that tank so much. That's the tank that introduced her to fish keeping. I've had that tank for 15 years. The reason why I bring it up is because I bought that off of Craigslist because Facebook Marketplace wasn't a thing yet back then. I don't think it was anyway. It was the tank, a stand, 2 AquaClear 110s, and lids. I do not think it had lights, but I could be wrong. I paid $400 for that 15 years ago. So dude in Richmond selling a 125 that looks in really good shape with the stand that looks nice and an FX4, y'all, that's a damn good deal. I have a 180 in my garage that I would give away. Just come get it. Well, hey, but the catch is you got to drive to Oregon. Who knows where Grave Digger Aquatics is? Sorry, you might be world famous and I just look like a jerk, but no, that's a great deal. Free tanks are always a great deal. I love the titles I replaced all my filters with. Nice. Okay. So we're not done here though. We're going to do this one. My microphone keeps hitting my beard and it keeps knocking this little spot out and it's pissing me off. When are you guys getting back the skimmer for the AC 110? Oh, we've never had them because they just released them for sale. As a matter of fact, I got the email yesterday from my guy at Fluval saying that they're finally released. He's wanting to know if we want to pick them up for our inventory. We will. And Fluval's usually pretty quick with us to ship out stuff. So it's we should have them within a couple of weeks, Leo. Second question, what do you think of the clear carb, or is Purigen still better? I think they're both great. I mean, yeah, I sell them both. So, of course, I think they're great. But I sell them both because I think they're great. I know that might not have made sense, but I wouldn't sell it if I didn't think they're great. The Fluval media is great. Seachem media is great. You're fine either way you go. Max Out's another one. I mean, we carry 3 products that are very similar. They all do a great job. It's just a matter of what brand you're loyal to. When you go with the Fluvals, if you are using the Aqua Clears, which you obviously are because you're asking for the skimmers, then you're going to be able to get it that's specifically sized for that filter. It's a little convenient, and that's part of this conversation here too, Leo. So I'm glad you brought that up. And I understand there are super chats that I have not gotten to. I promise you I will. We'll get to that. I promise. Anybody who has super chatted or become members or donated memberships, I saw some of those too. I will get to those. I promise you I will. Will you guys get some skimmers for the AC50s? Yes, all of them. We'll get them for all of them. And they have 5 different sizes. So yeah, they're coming. And Fluval also made us aware. I got to tell you all this story because it's funny. I'm not going to tell you what it was because I don't want to spoil it. But Lisa had this idea of a really cool little project that she could do. And she described it. And she was like, I could go to the dollar store and get this little thing. And it would be really cool. And it'd be a fun little video to do. And it would be a good time. And I'm like, hey, do it. Whatever you want to do. And then I get that email from the guy at Fluval basically saying, hey, look, we have this. And it's exactly what she said. But it's in Fluval form, which means it looks like something Apple would have made. And it's really neat. I mean, it was just weird. Tell you another similar story that has nothing to do with fish keeping. Like 2 weeks ago, Lisa had bought me these little steaks. And I was like, you know what? I want to have steak and eggs for breakfast. I was feeling frisky. What do you want from me? Like, I'm going to have some steak and eggs for breakfast. I'm going to make one of those little steaks. I don't feel like firing up the Blackstone. Plus, I haven't even cleaned it, so it's a mess. And I'm going to use something that I haven't used in 15 years. I'm going to pull out the old George Foreman grill. We haven't used that thing in forever. I don't even know what we bought it for. I don't even remember buying it. But we've had it for a long time, and it's just sat on the shelf. And it's not because it's not a good device. It's good. The George Foreman grill is great. We just haven't used it. It's been one of those things that we haven't used. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pull that out. I pulled out that George Foreman grill. I cooked up my steak. I had my steak and eggs. It was great. And then I went on the internet, and wouldn't you know it, that was the day that George Foreman died. Weird. That was creepy. I haven't used this thing for 15 years, and the day I pull it out is the day the great George Foreman passed away. Man, that was brutal. Anyway, Isn't stuff like that weird? I think stuff like that's weird. So listen, we're going to buy this tank from this guy. And Jaquan Simmons, if you're watching, don't get excited. We're playing make-believe here. I'm not coming to you to buy this tank. I'm just acting like I am. Sorry about that. But for the purposes of this live stream, we're going to buy that tank. So I'm going to do this. This is going to be fancy. I'm going to do this real quick. We're going to do a overlay of this. That's too much of a hassle. So I'm just going to check it off on here. We got the tank, the stand, the lids, the filter. I mean, we might as well check heater too, because he's got that fluval in there. He's going to give that to us. What's he going to do? We're buying everything else, and he's just like, no, I'm keeping this heater. Come on. He's not going to do that. So he's going to give us the heater too. And it has a light. I don't know what kind of light it is, but it looks good enough. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Decor, we're not going to count that. And the fish, he didn't say anything about the fish. So with this particular tank, let me go back to this here. With this particular tank, I guess we're going to get the Aquatop sponge filter with it too. Are we going to use the air stones? Probably not. But we're going to need some more things, because we're not done yet. We're going to need substrate. And a background. It's funny how you just completely forget how to spell when you're live in front of 82,000 people. What else do we need? We need decor, because that guy's decor is poop. We don't want that. We need substrate. We need background. What kind of substrate are we going to use? Where are we going to go to buy substrate? Okay. We gotta answer this question first. What are we going to do in this tank? Are we going to do something like this? We can't afford the Aqua Decor, magnificent product that it is. We ain't got the money for that, because we only have $300 left. $301. Is it? No, because it's $600. Where did I get $301? I'm stupid. We got $400 left. Don't do math in front of 61,000 people. We got $400 left. We need to get decor, substrate, background. Background, what's it cost for that film? It's nothing, right? Let me bring you all over here. Let's go. I'm sure they have it here. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to go to Petco to get it, or PetSmart. Where are we at? Petco. I'm just saying this is to get a price. Deep blue sea and black on the other side. This is 48. We don't want that. But I think you can see this is going to be very, very cheap. Well, it's $14.99. Here, maybe this is the one. Oh, for crying out loud. No, it's not. Okay. So we can't find it, but that's okay, because there are so many ways that we can do a background. We don't have to buy that stuff, but if we did buy that stuff, what would it be? Like, do we want to say 25 bucks? Do you want to just use black wrapping paper? You can do that if you're super cheap. Do you want to paint it with a can or 2 or 3 of Plastidip? That works. That's cheap. What's a can of Plastidip cost? I don't know. AutoZone? Oh, don't forget the dot, John. Let's see how much. Plastidip. Oh, whoa. All right, I was wrong. $17 a can. We're going cheap here. We're going to use the tape-on background from Petco, PetSmart, whichever one has it. Your local pet store might have it too. Who knows? It's cheap. We're not going to use wrapping paper because it gets wet. We're not going to use a plastic bag. We don't want our aquarium to look like the cover of Slippery When Wet. We're going to use the real stuff. We're going to tape it on there. It's going to cost us $25. So we got $375 left. Substrate. Here's the issue. I was saying we're going to shop at places that are not Amazon. And all I've done is gone to PetSmart and Petco. And the reason why is because I don't sell backgrounds. I don't sell substrate. And I don't know anybody who does. I don't know anybody who has a website like mine that sells those things. So, you know, if you're not going to go to Amazon, where are you going to go? You're going to go to PetSmart or Petco. If it were me, I think I actually prefer, I don't know. I was going to say, I think I prefer the tape-on backgrounds anyway over Plastidip, because Plastidip for 125 gallon is going to take you all day, because if you do it in really thick coats, it's going to be a nightmare. You're going to end up going through probably 3 cans of it. Your wrist is going to be wrecked. So you're going to end up spending whatever 17 times 3 is. Well, I know how much that is because I play darts. That's 51, right? A triple 17 is 51. Yeah, because triple 18 is 54. So yeah. So you're going to spend $51 for Plastidip, and it's going to take you all day, and it's going to wreck your wrist, and it's going to get stuff everywhere, and you're going to have to pay. No, we're just going to use the tape-on stuff. And I suppose if you're somebody that, you know, down the road decides you want to make it blue, you don't have to scrape anything off. It'll take you 30 seconds to take that off, flip it over, and use the other side. So yeah, we have $375 left. We need to get substrate. I don't know where. I'm bouncing around here, aren't I? Where are we going to go to get substrate? Y'all need to tell me. Y'all need to tell me where we're going to go that is not Amazon. Use a 50-pound bag of gravel available at Home Depot for cheap. Not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. Window tint absolutely will work. Not a bad idea, but if you're going to go that route, why not just go with the cheap tape-on backgrounds from Petco or PetSmart or your local pet store? Why not do that? So here's the thing. You're right, Sturm. And Sturm, you're from Europe, or at least your daughter speaks French. So you know dart math. That's the only reason I knew that, was because I know what a triple 17 is. I know what all of it, 45, 51, 54, 57, 60. Of course I know those. I know the doubles too. But I have to remind myself if I'm ever doing math, oh, wait a minute, what's a double 17? What's a triple 18? Anyway, it's funny. So here's the thing, okay? We have the tank, stand, lids, light, heater, filter, one of the best filters. If you're going with the canister, until the mega filter comes out, and I haven't used that yet. I've heard really good things about it, but until the mega filter comes out, I'm going to tell you right now, the best canister filter on the market is the FX series. So you've got an FX4, and we have $375 left. I'm not going to be so quick to go buy super cheap substrate like play sand or pool filter sand, even though there's a lot of people that prefer that, not because it's cheaper, but because it just works really well. Play sand, it's kind of poop, but the pool filter sand is great. I've got that sitting in front of me right now in my 240, and it's been there since 2016, and it's always been great. The only issue I have with any kind of sand is when the front gets brown, I don't know if you all know what I'm talking about. When the stuff settles in the sand, I'm an African cichlid keeper. And so you see like this little mound right here that the fish did, and that would turn brown. And all you have to do is run your finger across it and it goes away. It's not like it's, on the glass and it's really hard to get off. It goes away really quick. That's the only downside as far as the appearance of sand goes. Sand has its challenges for doing your maintenance and all that kind of stuff too. But, we're going to call it, sand is a good thing. However, do we need to go as cheap as possible? I don't think we do. We got $375 left, and all we have to do is buy substrate and some decor. We're doing well because of, what was his name again? Because of Jaquan Simmons. He's hooking us up. So we can have some fun. So yeah, I've seen a couple of people say, Carob Sea, that's what you're looking at right there. It's the best brand on the market when it comes to substrates, and I'll say it to your face, and I don't even think I'm saying anything controversial in the slightest when I say that. Carob Sea is the way to go when it comes to substrates. This substrate here, let me see. Where can I order Carob Sea that's not Amazon? I'm not sharing my screen, am I? I should do that because it'll be more fun that way. What a homepage. Remember a couple of weeks ago when I was reviewing websites? This is how you do it, folks. That's beautiful right there. Even though it's saltwater, that's beautiful. Freshwater substrates. Let's see. Supernaturals. Has anybody watched that show? I've heard so many good things about that show. I have not seen it. But I like, what's his name? Anson Eccles? Anson Eccles? I don't know his name. I like that guy. All right. So what I have is the Peace River and the Jungle River. That's what we mixed together. Those two right there is what I have mixed together in this tank behind me. Whoever just put in an order, thank you for that. Leo Vorob ordered some Cats Aquatics. I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, thank you. But now we got to find out where to buy that. Now, it needs to be said, they have one fish store listed on here. Come on, Carob Sea. What are you doing? Maybe you... Oh. Let's put in King George, Virginia. 22485. Pets Plus, Nova Tropicals. Are they still around? I heard they were going under. Or not going under, but closing. Okay, here we are. Azalea Aquariums. I don't know about that place. Fin and Feather is great. That's in Richmond. Centerville Aquarium is great. But these are all pet stores. I need a price and I need it now. Call me Veruca. I need it now. I don't care how. I want it now. Fine. We'll look at, we'll just look at Petco. Why wouldn't we? You're welcome, Petco. We are hooking you up today. All right. Let's, Peace River. All right. Forget it. Who cares? We're going to go with the Eco Complete African Cichlid. Very popular. And that is, in fact, what I used in my yellow lab tank. It's the black sand that has the little white speckles in it. It's beautiful. 20 pound bags, $22.62. How many are we going to need? Lisa Marie, how many bags did you use in your 55? Tropical Exotics is the new store that replaced Nova Tropicals. Oh, well, that's cool. Y'all are saying 5. Okay, I don't think Lisa used 5. You ain't answering for her. But 5 probably would do it for a 125, wouldn't it? I do like thicker substrates. I ain't going all father fish with these kind of substrates, but you can see what I got behind me. I like, you used 2 bags in the 55. So 4, yeah, so 5. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So we're going to add 5 of these. And you know what? I mean, the amount of substrate that she has in there is pretty thick. So my wife knows, y'all. She knows. All right, but now we need to remove the wrong lids. And we need to remove the tank. Sorry, because Jaquan's hooking us up. So $113. So I got to do this the old-fashioned way because I don't do math in front of 41,000 people. We started with 375, not 3750, John. Minus 113. Is that what I said? Have a memory, John. We got $262 left, y'all. Let me tell you something. Plants. You're right, Jennifer. And you know, we could go to my personal favorite website. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, we have that option. If we want to buy plants, what do we want to get? What kind of plants do we want to get? Do we want to get Anubias? We want to get stem plants? We just restocked, by the way. I spent all day putting away plants today. Yeah, I said it. I said it when I was reviewing websites, and I'll say it again right now. I don't like when that happens, when the thing pops up, but I got to do it. Stem plants, I mean, there's only 1 that you're seeing, 2 that you're seeing that are out of stock right now, and that's because our dealers haven't had them. The Ludwigia palustris that we get is from Tropica, and it's kind of tough to buy stuff from Canada right now. I don't even know if it is. I mean, I know Tropica emailed and said, hey, y'all, all y'all Americans, we're having to raise the prices on y'all. And that hurts. But, the S Repens is sold out too. I actually have like 4 S Repens, but they're in terrible shape. I don't want to send them. But here's the thing. I could sit here and plug my website. And I love to do that because that's how I make a living. Jensen Eccles, thank you. I was close. What did I say? Like Anson Beckles or Penis Freckles or something? I don't remember what I said. Here's the thing. I can't believe I just said penis freckles. That just came out of my mouth and I feel like an idiot. Jensen Eccles, a good singer too, by the way. We have $262 left. And all we have to do is decorate the aquarium. That is a really good place to be. And even though Jennifer suggested that we do plants, which I understand, that's great. But we haven't established what we're going to do yet. If we're going to do Imbunas, you have $262 to go to a landscape supply place or even one of your big box stores and buy big rocks. Or if you're going to do fish like these rascals back here, you want to put a big piece of driftwood back there. The point I'm trying to make is $262 for buying decor, which is all we have left to buy. You can go a long way with that. $262, you're going to decorate a tank? Shoot. Even Jensen Eccles would be like, dude, that's a lot of money to spend on aquarium decor for penis freckles. I'm sorry, Jensen Eccles. That dude could kick my butt And I did not mean to make fun of your name that way. If you think about it, that's a really cool name too. I mean, yeah, I'm sucking up a little bit because you never know. He could be watching. And if you are, I am a big fan of you. Please understand that. Even though I haven't seen Supernatural, I have seen The Boys, and you're very good in that. And I've seen you singing, and you're good in that too. Good at that. But 2 pieces of Holy Rock for 30. Yeah, I mean, $100 for 2 pieces of Holy Rock. Holy Rock is overpriced because it's rare. I mean, that's, it's not something that people can just go pick up off the ground. So, but at a landscaping place, there's the landscaping place that Lisa and I bought the big rocks that we used. We had to buy an entire pallet of it. I had to get it in 2 trips because my Ram couldn't handle it. And I didn't have my trailer yet. So if I was to get it now, I would have just put it on my trailer and I would actually, I don't even know if my trailer could handle that, but who cares? We bought an entire pallet of those big stones. It was enough to cover the entire background of 1 tank, half of a second tank, and do a border all the way around our fish house. I mean, we had so many rocks there. That was $450, but that was an entire pallet. But that same place has the same rocks, or the slate, or the little river stones, or the gray ones that are kind of flat and really smooth, and I don't know what they're called. They have all these bins with all these rocks, and then they give you bags. They don't give them to you. It's just laying there. Whatever you can fit in that bag is $10. So if you can only fit 2 big rocks in that bag, and you can't even carry it with the bag because the bag would break, you have to it's basically just like they're wrapped up in there. It's $10. Or if you put a whole bunch of the little gray stones that I don't know what they're called, $10. That's the way to do it. I don't know if every landscape place does that, but I know that place does. And I think it's called Tri-State something or other. Highly recommend. That place is great. It's awesome. It's very clean. It's very easy to get in and out of, and the people are very nice there. And I'd like to give them a proper shout out. I think it's called Tri-City Materials. Is that what it's called? Tri-City Materials, LLC. It's on Cedar Road in Chesapeake, Virginia. Could not recommend them more. If you want slate, if you want anything, mulch, pea gravel, 3/4 gravel, whatever you want, they got it all there. And it's really nice. But the point that I'm trying to make is, yeah, you might be able to go somewhere and pick them up off the ground like Lisa and Joanna do when we go out to a really nice pizza restaurant in, where were we? Dallas? Yeah, we were in Dallas. And they picked up rocks. And those rocks stayed in my truck for a long time because Lisa doesn't clean up after herself in my truck ever. But if you're going to do the right thing and you're going to pay for them, a place like that is a steal. I've never really priced stone like that at a Lowe's or something like that, but I know they sell them. So you can get very good deals at those places. But here's the point. And then we'll move on. If you have $1,000 and you've spent, or you've already got your background, light, heater, filter, lids, stand, tank, and substrate, and the background, which I think I already said, and you have $262 left, you are gold. That's beautiful. That's like, you won. You won the game. Because you can basically do whatever you want to do. I mean, sure, Jeff Miyake might laugh at that and be like, what are you talking about? I need the whole grand just to buy this particular type of this kind of stone so that I can build an archway and make a little, he's an artist. We're normal people. So if we're just going to pile up some rocks or get a fancy piece of driftwood or something like that, $262 go a long way. So I think the moral of the story here, the point of the dude's story is if you have a limited budget, like we've talked about tonight, and yes, $1,000 is a lot of money, but $1,000 is nothing when we're talking about setting up an aquarium. If you want to go with a big tank, you almost have to go Facebook Marketplace. Now, if you want to not have fun and you want to do what Kaylin Shepard was suggesting in the beginning, all due respect, Kaylin, love you. If you want to not have fun and just go buy the tank and then save your money and go get the rest of the stuff and look at an empty tank for months while you're saving up, all right, do it. But if you want to have fun and you want to do it all in one shot, Facebook Marketplace is the way to go. It just is. Driftwood can be a lot to pay quite a bit for the stump in my 20 long. Oh, sure. It absolutely can. And I talked about it in my Aqua Decor video. Lisa and I spent $100 a piece for 2 giant pond decorations because we never got them to sink. I put them in this tank back when we were in Virginia. You can see them in the tank. It released all the tannins. The water was brown. It looked terrible. They were floating in there. It was a nightmare. I took them out. We put them in next to the pond. They're above ground next to the pond, and they're all gray now, and it looks really cool. It's fun. But we paid $100 a piece for those. If you're getting a big, giant piece of driftwood, yeah, it's a lot. But I can tell you this, that same tank over there, the 125 that I've had for 15 years, I bought a piece of driftwood when I first bought that tank. Lisa can tell you, it's one of the most gorgeous pieces of Malaysian driftwood I've ever seen. It's still in that tank to this day, and it still looks amazing. It's great. I remember it. It was 15 years ago, but I paid $60 for that piece of driftwood. So yes, driftwood is expensive, but you got $262. You got plenty of money. You got enough money to buy a big fancy piece of driftwood like that. You got enough money to get a SpongeBob pineapple and a bunch of plants and a whole bunch of things is what you have the money for. So $262 when you are, when all you have to do is decorate, you're in good shape. Now, if we're going to do this again, which this was a lot of fun, I enjoyed myself. I hope you did too. If we're going to do this again and we're going to up the budget and we're going to start talking about big, 240 and above, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going Facebook Marketplace. I've done it. I didn't do it. It was Craigslist. Same thing. Does Craigslist even exist anymore? I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's the only .org site left on the planet. Yeah, it's still there. If I'm going with a 240, I bought one. It leaked really bad, but I fixed it with a big blob of silicone and it was fine. It was the 240 that you saw in my first videos that I did on this channel. And I had it until we closed our shop. So I had that tank from 2011, 2011, who cares, all the way up to 2016. And I paid $150 for it because the guy that owned it thought it was a 150, but it was in poop condition. This thing was butt scary. As soon as you looked at it, it was like, oh my God, but it was a big giant glass box and it was only $150. So I bought it and it was fine. But I feel like if we're going to go with something huge, 240, even 210s, if we're spending the money. First of all, you're probably not going to find them on Craigslist. If you do, you better snatch it up because somebody else will. But I think we're going to probably end up going custom or I don't know. We'll have to see. Y'all let me know though. if you want me to do that, if you want to do another episode of this and you want to, because you enjoyed this, let me know. And then also let me know how much the budget should be. And maybe we'll do that depending on if Lisa's here. Lisa could definitely add a layer to the conversation. So I think it would be equally as fun if she was here. So whether she's here or not, we can still do it. I want to thank Brent Russell, Finn Sanity, Dennis. Yep, Dennis, I was going to try it, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. Thank all of y'all for donating memberships. Thank you so much. JR is a member for 2 months. Prayers for Lisa. Thank you very much for that, sir. Luke Abbott donated a membership. Thank you so much for that. Kaylin Shepard, tell Lisa we miss her and to take care. John, you make sure you take care of yourself as well. Thank you for that. I am. I'm good. You ain't got to worry about me. Thank you. Luke Abbott was suggesting stingrays. A couple of people suggested that, or I might have even read yours and I'm just forgetting. I don't think I want to have stingrays in with the bikers. I don't think I want to have two different types of fish that sit on the substrate. If I was going to do stingrays, which I really want to do, I got space right there for another tank. I think that's what I'd end up doing. I have the fantasy, and y'all might remember, for a long time I had this fantasy of having an all blacked out tank with yellow labs in it. I got it. Had a fantasy of having a big tank for Oscars and arowanas. I got it, but then switched to bikers. When I have these kind of fantasies about a future tank, a lot of times it ends up happening. My vision is an island tank. Is that the proper way of saying it? Island tank? I don't know if that's the right way. Yeah, I think that's the right way of saying it. A tank in the center of the room that you can look at from all four sides. Really like that idea. And I know for a fact that Custom Aquariums is doing those now. They came up with a way of, I'm trying not to sneeze, doing the overflows in the center of the tank, with a post that goes up in the center. And boy, that would be nice for stingrays, don't you think? The vision that I have would be a taller stand. This stand is, I want to say this is a 36 incher. Yeah, this is 36. My yellow lab is 36. My saltwater is 36. My peacock and hap tank is 30. I'd almost like it to be even higher than this. I don't know how high Custom Aquariums would go, but if they would go like 42, just another 6 inches, because ultimately what I would love to do is a shorter tank. And when I say shorter, 24 inches is shorter. That's 24 inches. But all of my 240s are 30, and that extra 6 inches makes a huge difference. Yes, that's what she said. But for stingrays, you don't need the height, even though they will climb up the glass and it's adorable. But I just have this vision of like a 5x5 by 18 inches or 24 inches on a tall stand in the center of the room. That's the new fantasy. The only problem with that is that my power would have to come from the ceiling, which is fine. I don't like it. I wish I would have thought of that. I would have gotten the power outlet put in the floor, but it's concrete, so I'm not busting the floor up. But so Luke, there might be stingrays in my future. I just don't think they're going to be in that tank. And if you ever want to dream about stingrays, don't just look online. Go to Predatory Fins in Amityville. Look at Kevin's stingrays. You'll fall in love. It's like going to a room full of puppies. If you go to a room full of puppies and you're like, ooh, I hate it here, you're a bad person. I mean, how could you not love that? Being in a room full of stingrays is the same effect. It's just like This is what heaven must be like. It's amazing. And then you walk around the corner and there's a 24-foot long tank with arapaimas in it. Now it's madness in that place. I love it. Brian Carson became a member, but that's a re-up. Thank you. Welcome back, Brian. Finsanity dibs on the flavescents. I don't know what Lisa's going to do with those. I know, I have this long-term plan. It's long-term. It should have been done by now, but, my wife had to go and fall apart and have surgery. I'm blaming it on that, but it's my fault. I will be making my oldest 240 that I got in 2016, coming up on the 10-year anniversary with that tank. That's going to be a peacock only tank. So I know we're going to have several male flavescents in there. And some of them are going to come straight out of the breeder tank, and then probably some of the babies too. And, this is terrible to say, and not everybody that keeps African cichlids would admit this, but I will. Peacock and hap tanks are a constant rotation of fish. We all know that. You're not going to have a peacock tank and never lose fish. So we'll just have a free supply of all of those flavescents. There's not a prettier peacock. I mean, maybe the Luanda. Maybe. But flavescent, forget about it. I mean, that's a badass right there. So we happen to have an unlimited supply of one of the prettiest peacocks out there. But, we might be able to work something out, Joe. Who knows? Finsanity again. I refuse to spend $500 on a Petco tank. I can't believe how glass is through the roof. I can't believe you put an R on the end of that word. Well, that's just not a Petco thing, Joe. That's everybody. Aquariums are expensive. It sucks. And when we're talking about big ones cost a lot of money. Not really appropriate time to play the "that's what she said" game, because, well, that's just weird. But Zen Ginger was thinking about it. I just got a 40 breeder and have been trying to find it if it's possible to do yellow lab only tank with it. I probably wouldn't. I mean, you could, but I'm a snob. You're really, really pushing it. That's close. We have a place here in Colorado called Aquatic Dog. It's a fish store that also adopts puppies. Oh, forget about it. I would never go anywhere else. I love Mark Kornberg, but I would never go anywhere else. Wait, you can visit this location. What location? What are we talking about? Are y'all watching me scroll in the reflection? I paid $4.99 for my 190 gallon in 2006. Same place wants $1,300 for a 200 gallon today. Yeah. I mean, listen, everything has gone up and it sucks. Lisa and I have talked about one of the things that when we bought this property, one of the reasons why we bought it is because when it's time for our business to expand, we can expand here. We can build a building here. And for a while there, I got away from that idea because I was like, it's too expensive. No super chats today. I just went through them. There wasn't a whole lot, but I don't beg for them. So you don't see them pop up all that much on my live streams there. Ray. Rays. But I think Ray sounds better. The cost to build buildings has doubled in the last 5 years. And I'm going to tell you what really sucks. And this is my least favorite thing in the world. But I've seen it happen a million times because I'm 50. So I see things like this all the time. When something crazy happens that makes prices go up, like, oh, I don't know, a worldwide pandemic, you see that and you're like, well, it'll be okay because once things settle down, the prices will go back down. But they never do. You ever notice that? When the prices go up because the world falls apart, those new high prices, they just become the norm. You ever notice that? That really pisses me off. I understand there are some materials like wood and things like that that are always up and down, but it's like the cost of buildings. I remember when we were looking to buy this house, we bought this house in 2022. And I was looking then not to build a building on the property because it already has one. It already has the barn and it already has this one. But I was like, what are we going to be talking about if we want to build a 5,000 square foot building somewhere else on the property? And looking at the prices now compared to then, they're double. And it sucks so bad. I'm not going to tell you who I was talking to because I just don't know if it's public knowledge, but I was talking to somebody in our industry, not a YouTuber, but an industry person, a manufacturer that's having a new building built for their business. And the amount of money that he told me, I didn't ask him. He just voluntarily said, oh, my new building is going to be this much money. I almost called the police. This how much that scared me. I was like, what? Like, first of all, y'all are doing good. But second of all, what? $2.2 million. I said, what? What? Whew. If Lisa and I ever expand and we build a new building on our property, it ain't going to be that much. I promise you that. It ain't going to be a tenth of that. I don't know if he's building a building out of solid gold or what, but wow. That's good to know. New building prices, I'll stay right where that's the thing. I mean, if you are already in something, it's great. Like our house has increased in value dramatically in the last 3 years since we've been here. And that's amazing. But when you start looking, we're not looking to move. I mean, we love it here. This is great. But the cost of buildings is stupid. It's really, really stupid. Why don't they make a 30 long anymore? I don't know. I think everybody just goes with the 33s because that's just a great size tank. I love 33 longs. Ray's channel. Want to thank you for everything. Well, thank you, Ray's. That's funny. It's just funny to say Ray's. I'm assuming you're a Stingray guy, and that's really cool. When are you getting those new lights? Oh, daggone it. Are you the one that emailed me? Yes, you are. Doxy Diane. All right. So here it comes. The answer is, Diane, I don't know. I used to have a pretty good idea, but now I don't know. Why? Because they're 125% more now. So there's that. And it's not the fault of the manufacturer. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So I don't know. I really do want to get them in. You know, if I had my choice, it would be an American-made light anyway. But good luck finding that. So, you know, I don't know. Havoc in the hobby since the 90s. Me too. Just recently found your channel. Thanks for the great advice on stuff. Never stop learning. R.I.P. Oscar. Thank you. Glad that you found the channel and you are getting something out of it. And thank you for the condolences. Yeah, it's a heartbreaker. We, well, we, I just planted a tree in our front yard. It's a, what's it called, Lisa? Brandywine maple. It's beautiful. It's not beautiful yet, but it will be. And that's where Oscar's grave is he's going to help to nurture that tree. That was Lisa's idea. Cody James, would you put a fluval 307 or 407 on a planted 55? You know, that's another one that Jason and I talked about. My thing is, I don't know what the ratings are for those, but I'm going to check it right now because that's what I do, because I like to be thorough. I don't recall what the 407 and the 307, what their tank size is rated for, but I got it right here. So the 407 is for 50 to 100 gallons, and the 307 is 40 to 70. If that were me, it's a planted tank. I think I'd be fine with the 307. Why not? Here's the thing. With filters, a lot of times, we're not talking about that much money to upgrade to the next size. You know what I'm saying? Like with the titles and stuff like that, it's like $8. I don't know what the difference is in price between the 307 and the 407. If it's under $20, I'd just go with the 407. Why not? Just go with the more power and turn it down a little bit if it's too much. But that's what I would do. I always go on the side of bigger. Not going to say it, but I would always go bigger, and that because you can always turn it down. I am a big fan of the 407s and the 7 Series, period. The 2025 Chevrolet Corvette has a starting sticker of $69,995 with the range topping at the ZR1, kicking it off at $177. But in 63, the base price was $4,037. Yeah, but come on. I mean, let's not compare prices from 50 years ago. 62, is that the right math? That 63 sure is pretty though, ain't it? But the 2025s are too. $177. $177. I'll take 5 of them, please. $177,000 for an American-made supercar. I love American cars. I drive an American truck. Listen, here's the deal. We got 2 minutes left. Here's the deal, Whiff's World. I would be thrilled with the $69,000 version of that Vet. I'll never have one because I don't even have a garage, and I'm not going to buy a car like that to not have in a garage. You've been to my house. Did you see a garage? Nope. So, but I'd be thrilled. That $69,000 Corvette looks every bit as good as that ZR1. It might not be as fast, but it looks just as good. I don't care about the ground effects and the carbon fiber and all. I don't care about all that nonsense. That new C8 is awesome. I've loved it ever since they released that. I got new tires and wipers for my car, bought heating oil and went food shopping. Totally broke now. Oh, it doesn't take long. Italians make the best cars. I mean, 2 of the heaviest hitters, 3 of them. Because Alfa Romeo's from there too, right? Yeah. Does the light you have on your site now have the arms that work on frameless cubes? No. No, and I don't even know how many we have of any of the lights that we have right now. It's a shame that things happened with Higer the way they did. But you know, it is what it is. So listen, folks, I have the redirect set up for tonight. Finally, I've been forgetting to do that the last few weeks. And plus, I wasn't even here last week. So if you want to get some really good fish keeping information, you're going to want to stick around because you're not getting a whole lot of good information from me. You'll get it from Jason and Joanna because they're awesome. Hopefully next week I'll have some better information for you because Lisa hopefully will be back. I can't make any guarantees because, you know, she's going to feel how she's going to feel. If she's not up to it, you're going to be stuck with me again. But I sure did have a lot of fun with tonight's episode. I hope you did too. And I hope you will come back to join me or us next week. But in the meantime, Jason just texted me, said we are live. So it's time for all of us to head over there. I got to walk the dog and then I got to go back to the house and I got to do all of that. So it'll be a bit before I get in there, but I look forward to seeing y'all in there. Thank you so much to all of the moderators, everybody that super chatted. I think I got to everybody. Appreciate that from all of y'all. Thank you so much for the help. And I will see you next week. Go hang out with Jason and Joanna. Trust me, they're a lot of fun.